Hello, you're live with John and Laird. Who's calling, please?
Hi, John. This is Jan Scorza. Hi, Laird. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see
I
you.
have a question. I have a question about the Ball Foundation. Is there any chance in the future that that could be developed as a learning center for children, school children, or adults to come and learn about how things were done on the island? I mean, I live in Virginia and I'm close to Williamsburg and
hmm
Jamestown and all these places where kids can go from school to learn about how things were done. Is there any plans for that in the future?
We haven't discussed that specifically. I know that Rick's dream is to bring the island back to what it was,
Mm-hmm.
and I know he'd love to see that kind of interpretation in the area. And it would be wonderful to have the tours incorporate
Yeah.
programming for kids to learn about the Black Loyalist story. Because right now, or at least when I was growing up, and I grew up 6 miles from the largest settlement of free blacks in North America, and we learned nothing about it in school. So I would be a big fan of doing something like that. And they are working on, and they're very considerate about what happens after the show, and how do we how do we use this resource and use it properly.
There you go, Jan.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to one day going there and seeing it. Everything was set up to go there, and then COVID hit, and everything had to be canceled.
Yep.
I know.
So hopefully, within the next year or two, I'll get out there and see what's happening. But thank you so much for answering my question.
All right, thanks, Janet.
Thank you. Laird, we got 6 calls right in a row,
Okay.
but it sort of went off. You know what I mean? My phone can only take one at a time, so you have to try to keep on calling in because it's just saying missed calls on my phone. So
Oh
whoever first
no.
come, first serve. You know what I mean, Laird?
Yep.
All of a sudden, boom, 6 calls at once. So how am I supposed to do that? You know? Yep, Caroline. Try again. The minute somebody gets off, you're going to have to try to time it. Jazdia. Can anyone camp on the island, Jazdia?
No.
All private. It's all private. It's all private. Hello.
Hello, is this John?
This is John.
Hi, John and Laird.
Hi.
This is Robot.
Hey, Robot. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate you being so active in my chat and live show. I thank you so much, Robot.
Oh, I love it. I'm a real fan of your show and the Oak Island.
You still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead. Laird's live. Go ahead. Ask him what you want.
Okay, I got a few questions, but the first one John already asked you about Frog Island. Are you familiar with Frog Island?
No, I've never been there, so, and I don't know any historical background for it.
And you weren't aware of Dan Sullivan or Peter Beamish doing their 1970s investigation into the island?
No.
Never heard of him.
Okay. They found about 600 items, and one real interesting item was an anchor they found there, and they were sponsored by the Phillips Academy out of Andover, Massachusetts. So they have a museum down there of some of the stuff in the area, and the anchor supposedly was put in that museum.
Interesting.
One other question too, Murder Island. Are you aware of Murder Island?
No, this is all. I tend to focus on the very narrow archaeology of Oak Island. We rely on Doug Kroll to be aware of the other islands and the other possibilities.
What about before Samuel Ball? what about Jonathan Prescott, who was one of the original 1762 purchasers of lots on the island?
Well, I've just been going through some of the lot history.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's very
real fascinating.
Pardon me?
Yeah, he was a Freemason, and his family was involved in the American Revolution of 1776. His son, all were called Prescott, Jonathan Prescott. 4 of the people in his family, all same name. He was part of the invasion into Montreal, but a very fascinating person. He was responsible for bringing the slaves in that you were just mentioning. What were they called? The color, I forget the name of it. Okay, and my final question, this might pertain to you. Have you done, or are they doing, measuring the length of items that they find? Because during that time period, the length could be determined who was the depositor, whether they were French or whether they were English, because each had a different measurement.
I know everything I've cataloged, and I did it in here. I've measured, I've taken dimensions of, and it's all in the catalog.
And you're aware of, like, the French foot was larger than the English foot.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would be.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I equate it to finding a Chevy or a Toyota, and that the Toyota had metric measurements, and you know immediately that it was not American.
Yeah,
from the measurements.
Yeah, we tend
that's
to.
All I have.
Oh, we tend to measure everything in metric, but if you're looking at things like ox shoes, the metric system doesn't make any sense. So we just convert that to imperial.
Well, I see complete boards coming up, and if I measured those boards, I'd know by the inches whether they were French or whether they were English.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Robot.
Thank you so much, John, and have a good day, Laird.
Take care.
Next call. Next call. Keep on trying, guys. As one hangs up, the next one try to call. Is he coming through clear for you, Laird?
Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you. Just let me know if something happens you can't hear or something.
Yep.
Have you done a call-in show? You must have done a call-in show before, right?
Not a call-in show, no.
Oh, my lordy 40. This is another first.
Yeah.
Hello, you're live with John and Laird. Who's calling, please?
This is Caroline Anderson. Hi, John.
Hi, Caroline.
And, hi, Laird. And
hello.
Hi to the group, too. I really appreciate Laird coming on to join us. It's good of him to do that. I have a question. I've been thinking about the Mi'kmaq, the pottery. What did they use it for? I mean, way back when, I was thinking if I was going to, let's say, cook something, I wouldn't use a clay pot. I just, take it and put it on the fire. Or we have a New England clam bake where you kind of dig a hole and you bake things into the, into the, I can't think of you using something that exotic for, I don't know, ceremonies or what?
No, they were. So the pots are conical. Meant to sit in the fire. And I believe they also heated by putting. This isn't my area of expertise. This is more Helen Sheldon's.
That's all right.
Expertise. But it was more for boiling. Some of the meat they got, it was very lean, right? So not necessarily the best for roasting. So just like in the 17 and 1800s, people tended to boil their meat or braise their meats, right?
Mhm.
and that's what they were used for. And if you get an archaeological site and get a more or less complete pot,
Mhm.
remember, John, you were talking about the barrels.
Right.
At the bottom of these pots, you will get fat residue and things like that that can be analyzed.
Oh,
Yeah, so they were cooking within the
okay.
pot.
Yeah, the only other thing I could think of is way back when Boston, you had the bean pots where they kind of long term cook the beans with the pork or something. You know, and as you say, you put it in the fire and just slowly let it cook.
Yeah, but remember, these guys don't have, they didn't have some kiln dried hardwood to start their fire with, right? They were
Sure.
um, they had to, these low temperature fires that they had
Mhm.
to maintain constantly. So it's a
Okay. Well,
it's,
yeah.
yeah, no, I think they were cooking things low and slow, but they were definitely cooking food within that pot.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
You're
Take
welcome.
care, John,
Okay.
and good to the group too. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Caroline, for calling in. Next call, please.
Okay.
Laird, you got to do a cooking show next.
Right? I am the cook at home, so
The cooking show and
you're a
type
cook
of,
as well, right?
yep, and what type of beer we drinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
Everybody's pretty separate. Hello, Mark from Australia. Phone is open. Oh. Hello, you're live with John and Laird.
Hi, this is Neil's Playground Justice calling in.
Hey, my main man, Neil.
How you doing?
Good, you got
Glad
Laird
to
here.
see Laird on the show.
Yep, there he is. Go ahead.
Great. First question is, have you heard of the vault theory that other YouTube producers have come up with ideas about what the island is for and like what kind of mechanics might be on the island? Have you heard about this theory?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Because, well, if you had, I was just curious if you, from what you've seen on the island, if there's anything that would lead you to believe that like is possible. But if you haven't seen it, whatever. Second question is, the amount of artifacts that you find on Oak Island, would you find that sort of materials and things and the amount of it, would you find that if you went on any of the islands in that bay?
Yeah, we kind of addressed that earlier. When you look at things like, not so much the artifacts, like the pieces of pottery and stuff, but if you look at the U-shaped structure, the slipway, stone road, and things like that, the paved area, I have to say no. I don't believe you'll find that same stuff on another island.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I've never been on it. So.
Okay. And one quick follow-up. Do you think that Newcastle United can avoid relegation?
I'm really hoping they do. They seem to be winning, for the most part. But the problem is other teams are winning too. So we need more teams to lose.
Well, for your sake, I hope they can stay up. So, but thanks for being on the show. And John, always great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil, for calling in. I can depend on you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Next call. Let's see, we've only been on it for about a little less than an hour, Laird. You okay?
Yep.
Just let me know if you want to cut it.
No problem. We just recently completely renovated my garage, so I now have this great office space to work in.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Phone is open. I don't know if everybody's getting hit with a... Hello, state your name. You're with John and Laird Niven from the Oak
Well,
Island.
this is overdue, but this is Linda Shafto. John,
Yes.
it's Linda Shafto. Linda Shafto.
Yes, Linda. Thanks for calling in.
And and hey, Laird, welcome aboard.
Thanks, Linda.
I got a question about Dina's map.
Oh.
Have you personally looked at that map at all, or?
I have not. No.
Okay.
I
Do
tried.
you feel that? Well, I was going to say, have you ever that there was no hatch or any valve or anything like that because they couldn't find it?
I'll tell you, for my own sanity, I try to stay away from theories.
You're better off, Laird.
just because an archaeologist, it's all about material culture. It's all about stuff you hold in your hands.
Right.
So when it comes to theories, I can say, okay, well, let's see what's there.
But they never really truly found anything on that map, did they?
No. My first, as John referenced earlier, my first experience on the island was at the supposed location of the hatch when I was wearing sneakers and Rick had to lend me his size 14 boots to go down in a hole.
Yeah.
He's talking about the
I remember you
hedge.
getting in that.
Yeah, Linda, he's talking about
Right,
the hedge
on
behind
David's
David's house there.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. What about on Ball's property, the drain that they went through with the camera at that one time? Was there anything that they could find in that tunnel at all?
No, it was kind of strange because it was a drain that ran from his cellar to the southeast, quite a ways.
Mm-hmm.
But it was silted up, and then there was some collapse, so that's why the camera couldn't get through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was collapsed, but we did find the end of it.
Right. So there wasn't anything hidden in his foundation that could be like a tunnel or anything ever found?
No, we didn't. We only managed to excavate about half of his foundation. It was split by the base of his hearth, his fireplace. So there's still one half we haven't completely dug, but the eastern half we did.
Yeah. Do they plan on doing any more excavations around there? Is there any?
I hope so. I think so. It may be something. I mean, the problem with archaeology is it's not very camera friendly necessarily. So it may be something, because this will carry on after the maybe not necessarily with me, but after the show is gone,
right,
there will be money to carry this research on.
Laird, I love your dustpan.
Well, my other question was Lot 4. They were doing a lot of metal detecting in that region. Is there any other plans on any other lots other than 4 that they haven't explored yet, and they do plan on it?
Well, the big kind of elephant in the room for lots is Lot 5.
Right.
I'm not sure where that stands right now in terms of trying to acquire it or getting access to it.
Yeah, they teased us also, Laird, that Marty was looking to buy another lot on the island and an island.
Really?
Okay. So that's another teaser, another one throw in the bag.
I don't actually watch the show, so this is all news to me.
What about that cannonball they found on top of the surface? Sorry, Linda, it just comes to my mind. That little
that's all right.
That little rifle shot, that round rifle shot that was found right on the surface. I don't know. I forgot the lot number that Gary found. Does that seem possible?
32. No, that was.
If you don't know and it hasn't been shown, I can't say.
No, I thought that would came off 32.
Yeah, it was shown. It was shown on TV.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were walking along. Him and Rick were walking along, and he, obviously the metal detector wouldn't do it because it's a stone ball. Yeah. It's right on top of the soil.
Yeah.
Just coincidence or what?
Well, I guess I think the point is if you went out and looked for those, you probably never find them. So,
Right.
But really, I'm not sure what I can say about that. I'm not sure if analysis has been done on the show of it or not. So,
Okay.
Well, thank you guys.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Linda.
Laird, thank you.
all right, thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is why it's always easier to do these after the show is finished, because then
Yeah, they just came up, but I had all the details, but I forgot to put them in the screenshot. They did analyze that ball and the ball they found on the wash table.
okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked it there.
Yeah.
Hello, you're talking to John and Laird?
Hi, John.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the two pieces of human bone that were found. We never heard much more about that. When they review all the big finds and stuff, you never seem to mention the two pieces of human bone. Could Laird comment on that?
Sure.
Well, I mean, other than that was a long time ago. That was my first year.
H8, right?
That's a really good question. I know that they did the DNA, right?
Yep.
And after that, I don't think anything further has been done. At least not to my knowledge. I'm assuming it's resident at the Nova Scotia Museum right now.
Mm-hmm. Phones are open. We'll take maybe 3 more, Laird. We'll take 3 more calls, Laird. Is that okay?
Yep. Yeah, that's fine.
A little bit over an hour. I don't like going real long.
Yeah, the time can fly. That's for sure.
Hello, you're live with John and Laird.
Time can fly.
Hello?
Yeah, is this John?
This is John.
Hey, John, appreciate you doing this. How you doing, Laird?
Great, thanks.
Chris Bowes. I was wanted to ask about the Ball Foundation, what you thought the actual age of it was after the work you've done, and have y'all done anything on the barn?
The age we were thinking, Ball was there from like 1791 to 1842.
Mm-hmm.
And then in his will, he left it to his servants if he'd take the Ball name, which he never did. But somebody was living in that place right up to like 1900s. Just we could tell that by the artifacts that we're finding.
Mm-hmm.
The barn, the biggest question we have about the barn foundation is that Dan Blankenship had his gardens up there. We see their aerial photographs showing this big long feature. So we're not sure if he kind of impacted the barn. The artifacts we found at the barn are from 1870s. It's probably not Samuel Ball's barn. I think it's after he died.
Mm-hmm.
But we just couldn't quite do enough work to confirm that it was a barn.
Well, I sure appreciate it, but let me ask you this: do you think that Ball constructed that house, or that it was an older structure?
Was it a log cabin, Laird?
Oh no. It was a dug cellar. We found at the very, very bottom of the cellar when we got all the rocks out. Now I'm going to post some videos of Billy taking the rocks out of the foundation. At the very bottom of the cellar, when I thought things were done, we got Gary to come in, and he got a hit down there. And he found a button, beautiful little pewter button, dated to the late 1700s. So that's what makes me think it was Samuel Ball. It wasn't earlier than Ball, but no, it was a dugout cellar that he put a rock foundation in it. It was a lot of work, for sure.
We don't know what the top of it was. Probably log home, right?
It was either log or board.
Or
Yeah.
board, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I sure appreciate it. Thanks for talking with us.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you
Thanks.
so much. Two more calls. Two more calls out there. Since Dunfield built the Causeway,
Mhm.
did you ever think of looking on the Causeway to excavate?
No, I know a lot of the rock walls that were there are now part of the Causeway.
There you go, Ray D.
Yeah.
Two more calls.
Digging up the Causeway could be a little problematic.
Yeah. Yeah. Give Tony a lot of business, bolting everybody over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two more calls. I thank you a lot for doing this for me, Laird.
Oh, my pleasure, John.
Pat says, can you tell us about the hatch? It was nothing. The hatch was nothing.
The hatch. You need to get Jack Begley on here. Is what you need to do.
I scare everybody, Laird. They don't want to come on. They don't want to come on and go ahead. You're live with John and Laird.
Hello, John. Can you hear me?
Can hear you fine.
Great. Hi, John. Hi, Laird.
Hi.
This is Sharon Howard. How you doing, Laird?
Great. How are you?
Okay. Miss you.
I know,
Missed
right?
you last year. Anyway, I know, huh? Anyway, I'll get in touch with you later about that.
Okay.
I've got two questions for you. Number one, I don't know if you subscribe to the Archaeology magazine or if it's available to you online.
I don't.
But okay, I can probably send you this picture. But in this month's in the March-April Archaeology issue, and you probably know this already, but I think it's interesting. It might be interesting for the group. They had their write-up about how they dug in Grand Prix in Nova Scotia.
Grand Prix, yeah.
And they said there's a picture of it here. There's a couple pictures, and it reads, Acadian artifacts excavated at the Grand Prix include a silver cross, which looks not too much like Gary's cross, if you will, but it doesn't have the hole in it, but it is shaped the same. Pieces of 18th century redware pottery, most likely manufactured in New England, and 18th century British wine bottle, which looks exactly like that wine bottle that you and I'm sorry, I can't, but it looks
Miriam.
exactly like it.
Yeah.
Miriam, yes. I was curious if you had known about that and if anything was compared to quote unquote what you guys found on Oak Island.
I mean, I can tell you that we haven't found anything remotely related to the Acadians. I've worked on Acadian sites before. Yeah. So Acadians were gone in 1755, obviously. And the ceramics and the glass from 1755 are completely different from what we're finding. I mean, I'd love to find something earlier than 1760, but we're still kind of stuck in the 1780s for like the ceramics and glass, which is my specialty. I haven't seen anything younger than 1770 so far.
Okay.
But I'd love to. The Acadian stuff is really distinct. I'd love to find some.
Yeah. Okay. And my second question is mostly to explain for the fans. as well as I'm kind of a little unclear about it.
Yeah.
How do the things that you find or Gary finds or the things that are found on the island, how does it rotate through the interpretive center that's there and then go to, is it the museum in Halifax?
Yeah. Yeah. So
How does all that work?
oh, this gets really complicated. So we found the two Mi'kmaq sites, right? And when you find something like that, like the Ball Foundation, I fill out a form called a Maritime Archaeological Resource Inventory form. And that's what I did for those two sites. And they get a specific number, a designation, like BDDB9. So all the artifacts we find from there get cataloged with that number, BDDB91, and on and on. But Gary's finds get cataloged under a different system. So this year I've had to bring all of those things together into different databases or spreadsheets. And in here, I get them all together, confirm them all, make sure they're all cataloged properly, put them in separate boxes depending on what license they were found under. And then they go to the Nova Scotia Museum. And so right now, all of our artifacts, including the cross, are at the museum. But I anticipate with the new government that they'll soon be coming back to the island so they can be displayed for interpretation.
Okay.
Very good, Laird. Thanks for your call.
Okay, thank you, John. Thank you, Laird. We'll see you.
See you soon.
Okay, hopefully, yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.